In the market, in hallways, in churches, under trees, at kitchen tables, in riverbeds. Learning doesn't only happen between four walls. Learning happens in the small space of your enormous, beautiful mind. Start where you are. Use what you have. Learn on One. Invite learning in.
ShopRite has always been here for you, and we're committed to bringing you the best value. Get more for less with our Essentials combo. That includes 10 kilos Rice King rice, 3 kilos Polana pasta elbows, 10 kilos Top Score maize meal, 10 kilos Buck Pro Fed Cooked flour mix, and 10 kilos Sugar King white or brown sugar. All for $530. Save $66. Only at ShopRite.
Good morning, learners. What time did you wake up today? All right. I hope you have washed your face and brushed your teeth. Welcome to My Zone Online School. My name is Teacher Mudabeti, and here with my friend Landre. Our theme for this week is summer. Before I introduce the new topic which we are going to deal with today, let us sanitize our hands. There we go. Rub it in, rub it out, nicely and through the fingers. There you got it. Our topic for today is going to be based on the shapes and time. Good morning, learners. Okay, we have learned about the punctuations, remember the capital letters and the full stops. Now we are going to read the story about Mary. In this story, there are some capital letters and there are some full stops. Now, I would like you to identify them, and then you have to follow the instructions of what you should do to them. With the capital letters and the full stops, you have to circle them out. I would like to see whether you still remember what is a capital letter and what is a full stop. Now, I'm going to read to you the story. Mary's story. Father, Charles, Lucy and I went to the beach yesterday. We took our dinner and stayed all day. Father and Charles went out a little way from the shore in a boat and fished while Lucy and I gathered sea mosses. We took off our shoes and stockings and waded into the shallow water. We found such beautiful seaweeds. Some were purple, some pink, and some brown. When they were spread out in the water, the purple ones looked like plums, and the brown ones looked like trees. Such a funny thing happened to Lucy. She slipped on a stone, and down she went into the water. How we both laughed, but the wind and sun soon dried Lucy's dress. That was the story about Mary and Lucy when they went to the beach. Now, it's just to circle the capital letters all the words which are starting with a capital letter, circle with a capital letter, and the full stops. Okay, now we will continue. Let us proceed to page 29 for both the grade 2 and grade 3. That was wonderful. It's easy exercise. Let's come to page 29. I'm sure you still remember about the shapes that we did. Now, when we check there on page 29, we will see ourselves there, the picture of my body. But my body is full of all sorts of shapes. So, we'll see if you can still remember the names of the shapes that we have learned. We are going to count the amount of shapes to complete the sentences. You have to count the shapes. If you don't remember the shapes, then you will not know which one to count and which one to put where. But then if you still remember, can we remind ourselves what shapes do we have? We have got circles, we have got rectangles, squares, triangles. All those are shapes which are full on my body. So now, if you are able to identify the circle, you will count them properly and you will put the correct number there on the line. So let's start with my heart. I have a head there on top on my head. That is where my head comes on. I put it on. Now check there. So on my head are full of circles. How many circles are there? Are you able to count? Remember, we have learned about counting many times. Now count them quickly, as quick as possible, and put it there. And the rectangles, how many rectangles? Do you still remember what is a rectangle? Do you still remember how it looks like? Okay, so identify it and count how many they are there, and then you fill it on the line. How many squares? You remember the square? How does it look like? Please count them and put them. And the triangles as well. On my face, how many circles, how many triangles, and how many squares are there in my face? Now check my arms. What shape are my arms? What shape is my body? What shape are my legs? What shape are my feet? Just check those shapes and you will be able to write the correct answers. Thank you, learners. Learners, now let's turn to page 30. I hope you have now checked and you have seen what we are going to do today. Now, before we start with our new lesson of today, I would like to introduce my new friend who is going to help me to do the lesson of today. Can you please say hi to her? Hi. All right. Okay, today's lesson is going to be about time. We are going to look at the clock. All right. We are going to see and we are going to learn how to tell time, AM and PM. What is AM? AM is when it is in the morning up to 12, from 12 to sunset, and when we are sleeping, we say it's PM. PM is in the night. Okay, so I'm going to show you a lot of things. You always wonder when mommy says, it's time to go to school, it's time to eat lunch now. We wonder, what is she talking about? Look at the time, we are late, it's past, it's 7 o'clock, and we don't know. And many times in our houses, we have clocks. We have this type of clocks in our houses, but we do not know what time it is even when we look at it. So today I'm going to show you. Why do they say o'clock? Why do they say past? Why do they say quarter past? Why do they say quarter to? Okay, so now on a clock we have got two hands. There is the long one and there is a short hand. Just check there. It looks like mine here. I'm going to use this one because I can move the hands to show you what I mean when I say past, when I say o'clock or quarter past or quarter to. Okay, so the long hand is for the minutes and the short hand is for the hours. Now, In a clock, when you check on your clock there, in your book, it's a round thing. Now, our hands will always move in the same direction all the time. They will move from there, they will go all around until the top there. Okay, so the long hand, which is for the minute, always moves faster than the short hand. So, whenever the long hand completes the cycle, the short hand will have to move from this number where it is to the next number. Are we together? Okay, I hope you are still with me. Now, when we say o'clock, means that the long hand should be at 12. When the long hand is at 12, when that long hand has moved to 12, we say o'clock. O'clock of what? Wherever the short hand is pointing, then we say that is the time. Now can you tell me, if my short hand now is on 7 and the long hand is at 12, that is o'clock. What o'clock is it? That is 7 o'clock. Thank you. Same applies. If I move my short hand to 3 or to 4, let me say 4, the long hand is at 12. What time is that? 4 o'clock. Thank you. That is wonderful. Okay, the short hand and the long hand can be together on the 12. What do you think would that be? What time would that be? 12 o'clock. Yes, my friend is really helping me. Are you getting it right? That is wonderful. Now we shall move to half past. Half past. We are late. It's 7:30. We are late. It's 1:30. We have to go to bed. We have to bath. You don't know what is half past? So, what is now half past? Now half past, you see the circle? This is a complete circle. When we cut this circle on the middle here, this will be a half and that will be a half. Therefore, when the long hand is now pointing at exactly 6 like this to cut the circle in the middle, we say it's half past. All right, are you still with me? That is half past. Okay, now let me show you an example. My long hand is now at 6. And my short hand perhaps is at between the 7 and the 8. Just between there. And the long one is at 6. Remember, it's half past. But half past what? So now we check. Remember the clock? It's moving from here in this way. It does not move backward. So we go that way. Meaning this time will be half past what? This will be half past 7. Thank you. Give yourselves a hand. That is wonderful. You are doing it well. That will be half past 7 because we are in the middle. We are about to go to 8, but we are not yet there. We are halfway. So half past 7. That is wonderful. Let me give you another example of the half past again. Okay, perhaps now it is here and it is between what and what? 12 and 1. So, what time will that be? Half past 12. That's wonderful. Remember, the clock goes that way. So, we say it's half past 12 because it is past the 12. It's in the middle. We are about to go to 1 o'clock. That is wonderful. Okay, did you get that one? Please just remember when it is at 6. It's a half. Now, let me take you again to the quarter past. Okay, it's quarter past 1, it's quarter past 2, it's quarter past 7. You wonder, what is quarter past? All right, we still have our circle, we have our clock. Now we said when we cut it in the middle here, it's a half. So what do you think a quarter past will be and a quarter to will be? Now, when we cut this circle again like this, we are going to have our 4 parts. Now we have cut it in the middle, half. We are now going to cut it this way. So we have 4 parts. Now, if the long hand, remember we must always use our long hand first. If our long hand is pointing at 3, remember we have cut it this way now. So we cut it on the 3, nicely straight to a 9. Now, if the long hand is pointing at a 3, the long hand pointing at a 3, now we say what? That is what we call quarter past. This is what we call quarter past because we are coming down this way, remember? That will be quarter past on the 3. And we go, when it's here, it's half past. When we are at the 9, it's 1:45. We are left with only 15 minutes to go to the o'clock. Quarter past means 15 minutes past. Then, all right, we say 15 minutes because remember what I told you. When we complete the circle, the minutes will be counting, and up to there it would have counted 60 minutes. So if it has counted only from 12 up to this 3 here, it has counted 15. When it is counted up to here on the 6, it will have counted 30. So 30 is a half of a 60. That's why we say half past. There it's a quarter. But then when it has counted up to the 9, we say 1:45 because we are only left with 15 minutes to go to the o'clock. All right. So now let's come to the examples. Now, would you tell me what time would this be then? It is now on the 3 and the shorthand, it can be on the 10. So what time would that be? The shorthand is on the 10 and the long hand is on the 3. Can my friend help me? 10. That is wonderful. Thank you. Did you get it there? I hope you did. Whenever it is on 3, we say 1:15. Now I'm bringing it closer. Maybe it is on the 2 and then the long one is on the 3. We say 2:15. Thank you very much. Now let's try 1:45. Let's try 1:45. The long hand is on the 9. Remember, we cut the circle this way. Okay, the long hand is on the 9 and the short hand is not on the 7 and is not yet on the 8. But it's almost getting to the 8. It's somewhere there. But the long one is at 9. What do you think that time will be? 9:15. Okay, but then we are not going to say 1:15. Remember, the past will be that side. And when it's on the 9, I said it will be 1:45. Because we are now going to go to a o'clock when it's on the 12. So we are going to say 7:45. We are approaching the 8. Little by little, we will be at 8 o'clock. Because when the long one will come to 9 there, then the short hand will be now at 8, and you will say 8 o'clock. So that is the time. So now I hope you have learned how to tell the time. Now we are going to go back to our clocks, which are on page 30, and let's try the first one. You are going to draw for me the hand to show me the 8 a.m. But before I do that, let me tell you something. We always have the a.m. and the p.m. So when you hear people are saying it's 13 hours, what do you think they mean? 13 hours, it's at the p.m. Are we together? So 13 hours, they just mean 1 o'clock. Remember, this is 12 o'clock. If you were to say it's in the p.m. and you don't want to use the 1 anymore, you say from 12 we go to 13 hours, 14 hours, 15 hours, 16 hours, 17 hours, 18 hours, 19 hours, 20 hours, 21 hours, 22 hours, 23 hours, and 24 hours. It's in the middle of the night and we are fast asleep. So that is what they mean. Are we together? So when they say 13 hours, don't be surprised. Just continue from the 12 to the 1, you say 13 hours because now it will be p.m. Remember, p.m. is in the afternoon and in the night. Are we together? I think you have got it this time. All right, now let's go to our page 30 and check if we can do these clocks which are here. The first clock there, I would like you to draw for me the hands. Show me the hands, the long hand and the short hand. Where will they point if it's 8 o'clock? But AM means it's in the morning, so you must show me where the long hand will point and where the short hand will point. Can you tell me where it will point when we say 8 o'clock? All right, so the long hand will point where? At the 12. Thank you. And the short hand will point where? At the 8. Very good. It will point at the 8. Then we say it's our o'clock. And then now the second clock there, you must tell me what time is that. The long hand is on 12 and the short hand is on 6. Remember something. The numbers must be in your head. Not all the clocks will have numbers like this one. Some clocks will just be drawn circles, but the clock itself, all of this must just be in your mind when you see it. Even if there are no numbers, you must know that a 6 should be down, a 12 should be up. Are we together? That is another thing that you must pay attention to. So tell me also, the long hand now it's on 6 and the short hand is on 4. What time is that? And you continue with the other ones. You draw for me the hands. And on the second activity, you are going to tell me again what time is this. All the clocks you must now tell me what time are they showing. Remember, 1/2 on the 6, the long hand. O'clock is on the 12, the long hand. 1/4 is on the 3. And 1/4 is on the 9. That is wonderful. Okay, now what should you do? We have come to the end of our lesson. I would like to remind you of what things you must do and what things you mustn't do when you are at home. You must not touch your face unless if your hands are very, very clean. Don't touch your nose, don't touch your eyes, don't touch your mouth unless if you have washed your hands nicely and you are very sure that they are clean. So what should I do then? You must do what? You must use the handy sanitizer. Can we show you with my friend how to use it? Spray nicely there and rub it in. Rub out, rub nicely, and between the fingers. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. There you go. But you must remember to do your work and you must play, be active so that you are fit. Now we are going to call our friend Zoshi to say goodbye.
Zoshi. And Simon says, don't touch your face, your eyes, your nose, and your mouth unless your hands are super clean. Bye!
Saying things that degrade women, for me, number one, I am not there because that is basically what I don't believe in. I don't stand for things that degrade women.
What do you think we can add? What do we put in the basket?
First of all, let's put Blossom back in the basket.
Look at the person like, man, let's do a song.
Let's do something.
Just
let's
like
collaborate.
Let's collaborate.
The Africans were claiming us.
Yes, exactly. To the rest of the world, they belong to us. Namibia, Baba, Namibia.
I'll help you carry on.
creating music and putting some stuff out for the people who've been supporting me, that's definitely something that's next on my list.
The mighty Zambezi River, the longest east-flowing river in Africa, a river that flows through 6 countries, home to a plethora of wild species of fauna and flora, a lifeline for many people whose livelihoods are dependent on the abundance the river brings. Globally, communities who live along rivers rely on these rivers to survive. Communities living along the Zambezi call it the river of life, bringing water for their crops and fish as their main protein source. In Namibia, a country situated in sub-Saharan Africa, the Zambezi River sits at the heart of Kaza, the Kavango-Zambezi Trans-Frontier Conservation Area, which is one of the greatest conservation areas on Earth, a stronghold for very many of our most iconic wildlife.
I'm right now where the river forms the border between Namibia and Zambia. This enormous water body provides sustenance to a wide array of wildlife, bird and fish species. It's also a lifeline for human beings.
The same communities are the people also who are doing the illegal activities.
The price of fishing has gone up because fish has become scarce.
The more they finish this, the more our life gets harder and harder.
These days, it is very rare to get a big bream unless in those protected areas.
A small group of community members, together with non-governmental organizations like Namibian Nature Foundation, are fighting back.
We have to start thinking out of the box, to be honest, because what's going to happen is going to be out of this box that we haven't seen before.
By creating protected areas, monitoring and patrolling, fish stocks have a chance at recovery. These are the stories of the people fighting for the continued existence of their communities. These are the last defenders.
Struggling with no food, no what. But we didn't stop. If I don't do it, our young children, they'll never know the fish.
Kind Kos, kind sis, kind I, Namibia, ice. Did I get sister Huldan Navasida? Did I get I ko out? Namibia oncology center, Naragrasisen, I come from na. Ti Quito, bounce I hari, Snahari, Badang Nahure, Nugu said again ha ugu. Habe da gedo ngugu sadaga ha ugu habe han are ugu ha hoge bounce ai hare ida khadi nedi I 2019 novel coronavirus sting higusa au bounce ai hare.
A very big hello to you, ladies. It's great to be with you on the show again.
Yes.
Welcome to Living the Life. Marriage is where the work really is.
That's the main.
So no matter how exhausted the event planner is after, oh my God, I did such a beautiful wedding. She did the wedding. That's not the work.
You understand?
The work is the couple now.
The uterus begins to shrink back to its normal size. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks for it to get down to below the umbilicus level, and 4 to 6 weeks if you're breastfeeding. So that's another incentive to breastfeed.
4 to 6 weeks. Yes. You're wondering, love, what does it really mean? Someone is telling you, I love you, but if you love me, show me that you love me.
Investing in marriage takes a real